It was late, later than I'd normally stay out, but I'd just finished an exhausting shift at the diner and was desperate to get home. My apartment was on the outskirts of town, and to get there, I had to cut through a wooded area. Normally, I didn't mind walking through the woods at night. It was a familiar route, and there was something oddly peaceful about the quiet isolation. But tonight there was something off about the air. The fog had rolled in heavy and thick, clinging to the ground like a wet blanket. My breath hung in the cold air, visible in short puffs. The trees on either side of the path loomed like twisted, gnarled fingers reaching out of the mist. The silence was so complete that it felt unnatural. No rustling leaves, no chirping of crickets. It was as if the entire forest was holding its breath, waiting for something. I shrugged it off. It was probably just my tired mind playing tricks on me. The path was narrow, a well-worn trail through the trees, and I was about halfway through the woods when I felt it. A chill that wasn't just the cold, but something deeper. A cold that seemed to settle into my bones, gnawing at me. I paused and glanced around. The mist was so thick that it almost felt like I was walking through a cloud. The trees blurred in the distance, their shapes hazy and indistinct. For a moment, I thought I heard something, twigs snapping, leaves crunching. But when I stopped and listened, the forest was still. Just my imagination, I told myself again. I kept walking, trying to ignore the unease creeping up my spine, but the sensation grew stronger. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone, or something, was following me. I turned my head quickly, scanning the trees behind me, but there was nothing, just shadows, stretching and distorting in the fog. My heart began to race, and I quickened my pace, feeling the weight of the silence pressing in on me. My steps seemed louder, echoing in the stillness. But when I listened closely, I heard something else. Footsteps. I stopped dead in my tracks. For a long moment I didn't move, not daring to breathe. The footsteps stopped too. They were faint, but unmistakable. Someone was walking behind me. I wasn't sure what to do. I could feel my pulse hammering in my neck, a panicked flutter of adrenaline. Was it someone else using this path at this hour? Maybe just a late-night hiker? But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The footsteps weren't random. They were deliberate. They were following me. I took a few cautious steps forward, and the footsteps started again, mirroring my movements exactly. A shiver ran down my spine. I couldn't see anyone behind me, but the sound was unmistakable. It was too coordinated, too precise. I felt like I was being stalked. I glanced over my shoulder, my breath catching in my throat, but there was nothing but trees and fog. Yet the footsteps continued. Whoever or whatever was behind me was getting closer. I started to walk faster, then jogged, my heart pounding in my chest. I could hear my footsteps getting louder, quicker, as if I was being pursued. But when I looked over my shoulder again, I saw nothing but an empty trail stretching behind me. And then I heard it, a whisper. It came from the darkness just ahead of me, as if it was speaking directly into my ear. Run. The voice was low, almost a hiss, and it sent a cold wave of terror crashing over me. I spun around to look, but there was still no one behind me, no one in sight. But I could feel something now, like a pressure, pressing down on my chest. I broke into a full sprint. I didn't look back. I didn't dare. My legs burned with exhaustion, and my lungs screamed for air, but I couldn't stop. The sound of my own footsteps was drowned out by the pounding in my ears, the rush of fear flooding my senses. And then, in a flash of panic, I saw something in the corner of my eye. A figure. A silhouette standing just at the edge of the fog, half shrouded in shadow, watching me. It was tall, unnaturally tall. Its form was distorted, like it didn't belong in the space it occupied. I couldn't make out any details, just the shape, black and inhuman, standing still, unmoving. My breath hitched in my throat, and I wanted to scream, but the sound got stuck in my chest. I turned my head forward again and pushed my body harder, stumbling over the uneven ground, my vision blurred with panic. I could feel something drawing closer, the presence in the woods closing in on me. It was as if the air itself was tightening around me. A cold laugh, faint and distant, echoed through the trees.